Welcome to another edition of Rogues Gallery, where we count down the top 10 villains for your favorite superheroes based on your votes. This week, we're looking at the enemies of Daredevil, who are an eclectic mix of the bizarre, the supernatural, and the just plain mean. Just missing out on the top 10 this week are Lady Bullseye, Mr. Fear, and the Gladiator. Let's start the countdown. Number 10, Fancy Dan, Montana, and Ox. It's the Enforcers. As the name implies, the Enforcers are muscle for hire, each with their own set of skills. Fancy Dan is a master of karate, Montana is an ace shot with his whip, and Ox is a big strong brute. They first appeared as Spider-Man villains working for the big man, but their mercenary nature brought them into conflict with many of New York's street-level heroes, including Daredevil. Number 9, Ikari. Ikari was the result of several attempts at recreating Daredevil's powers using the same radioactive waste that blinded him as a child. As fierce a fighter as Daredevil and proficient with the blades he takes his name from, Ikari has an upper hand on Daredevil due to the fact that he can still see. Number 8, Zebediah Kilgrave, the Purple Man. The Purple Man was a Croatian spy that was involved in a chemical accident that gave him the powers to influence anyone he wanted with the power of his voice. He often uses his powers to live a life of luxury off the grid, but his obsession with heroes such as Daredevil and Jessica Jones drives him to re-emerge and attempt to prove his superiority. Number 7, the Owl, Leland Owlsley. The Owl was a high-powered financier who was brought down on charges of corruption and started a new life as a crime lord. Funneling his fortune into human enhancement, he gained superhuman abilities and began to build his criminal empire, bringing him into direct conflict with the likes of Daredevil in the process. Number 6, Wilbur Day, the Sensational Stilt Man. Wilbur Day was an inventor, hired to create a hydraulic ramming device. But instead, he used the designs to create telescopic legs he could fashion into an outfit to commit crime. Often seen as a loser, he briefly retired following the revelation that Matt Murdock was Daredevil, and was later killed by the Punisher via rocket launcher. Number 5, Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary is a skilled fighter and also a mutant with the ability to create fire on command. She has 3 personalities vying for control and often goes years without an incident, but due to the high demands for her skills, someone usually comes calling to bring out the assassin once again. Number 4, Elektra Natchios. Elektra was Matt Murdock's lover in college, but when her father, the Greek ambassador to the US, was killed, she abandoned her life and studied under Stick before becoming a freelance assassin. She returned to Matt's life in a blur of fury and passion, but was taken away all too quickly. Later resurrected, she is often more an ally than an enemy, but when she is pitted against Daredevil, she is one of his toughest opponents. Number 3, the Hand. The Hand are an ancient and mystic clan of ninja that mix sorcery with martial arts and have unlocked the ability to bring people back from the dead. They first entered Daredevil's life alongside Elektra, and Murdock's mentor Stick revealed to him the truth of the ancient war that has been fought between the Hand and his group known as the Chaste. The Hand are historically linked with Hydra, having created the terrorist group during World War II, though control was wrested away shortly afterwards. The Hand's global reach has often brought them into conflict with other heroes in the Marvel Universe, and after a clash with the Avengers revealed their leader Elektra was a Skrull, the organization was left in disarray. In an attempt to use the Hand as a force for good, Daredevil accepted their offer to lead them, and he constructed a giant fortress in the middle of Hell's Kitchen, known as Shadowland. However, he was being manipulated by an old order from within the organization to become a vessel for the Beast, and with the help of his friends, he was able to expel the Beast and defeat the Hand. Number 2, Bullseye. Bullseye's origin isn't fully known, including a child raised in a trailer park and a career as a talented Major League Baseball player convicted of manslaughter for killing a batter with his pitch. Whatever his past may be, he is one of the most ruthless killers in the Marvel Universe. Bullseye's enmity with Daredevil is more personal than pretty much everyone else, having been responsible for the murders of 2 of Matt Murdock's great loves, Elektra and Karen Page. Years later, Daredevil finally got his chance at revenge, and due to the influence of the Beast, he finally killed Bullseye. Resurrected by Lady Bullseye using hand magic, the process did not cure him of his injuries, and he was left paralyzed and trapped in a coffin-like iron lung. Using the time afforded to him to plan, he set about a scheme to ruin Daredevil's life, but was ultimately defeated and blinded by the same radioactive waste that blinded Matt Murdock as a child. That means that number 1 is none other than Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. As the kingpin of crime in New York, Wilson Fisk often clashed with many of its costumed heroes and was originally a Spider-Man antagonist, but found himself drawn into conflict with Daredevil more and more as he attempted to expand his empire. When Matt's former lover Karen Page was at rock bottom, she sold Daredevil's secret identity and the information found its way to Fisk. Using his vast resources, he systematically broke down Murdoch's life piece by piece, making it seem like a string of bad luck until signing it by destroying his apartment, cluing Daredevil into Kingpin's involvement. When Daredevil had finally had enough, he defeated his enemy publicly and declared himself the new Kingpin of Hell's Kitchen, claiming the neighborhood for his own. Kingpin later returned, and through his machinations, Murdoch was arrested for his vigilante activities and sent to jail, though Fisk was also brought down alongside him. Fisk later took control of the Hand following the Shadowland incident until they were brought down by the superior Spider-Man. Fisk later resurfaced in San Francisco, where Murdoch had set up a show as a public superhero and attempted one last scheme to ruin his enemy, but failed once again. That's our list for this week. Check out comicsalliance.com to vote in this week's poll.